Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Overwatch 2 upgrade heroes with new perks.
So I learned something interesting about that today because I don't.
Oh yeah,
not the perks like themselves, but I have someone at work that plays Overwatch 2 still, right? And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, if you don't have like a DPS player, like you're just stuck in queue for like 20 minutes." And I was like,
"Really?
What?" Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, "No way, really?" Because apparently the most popular roles are tank and healer. Like no one plays DPS.
What caused that? That's never been the case.
She said it's because nothing fucking dies.
Oh, that's how I felt the last time we played. I would just shoot things and it was like until I still remember nothing happened until that Winston ulted and got nanoed and then our whole team died.
She's like, "Yeah, you're pretty much just in the middle of two kaiju battles."
Yep,
is what I saw described, not by her, sorry, as on the Overwatch forums. You're just watching two monsters fight each other.
I want to, I would like a Pacific Rim game. I just don't think Overwatch is the place for that.
Now you're watching Wrecking Ball and Orisa fight each other.
You just everything like any big mecha game, I'm down for. This is a Pacific Rim gimme.
Dude, Mecha Break beta's coming back, I think.
I didn't get to try it and I want to.
I know.
Hey, we told y'all.
Yeah.
We told y'all. Y'all decided not to. It doesn't even feel like you're a giant robot. It feels more like a hero shooter.
Oh. Well, we get to try it Monday. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, is out really Monday already?
The game isn't out, but they're doing another beta.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I hope my character's still there. It'll be a surprise because y'all didn't see it.
Pretty sure I opted into that. Or the original one, right? We don't have to opt in again, do we?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet, but I heard it's coming
after
back.
this.
Yeah, after this, I'm going to check it out. But yeah, I learned that about Overwatch. I told her, well, the reason you don't have any DPS players because they're all busy playing Marvel Rivals. they're in my quick play games. All my Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Fuck.
Oh, when he's on your team, he's the worst. When he's on the enemy team, he's also the worst. You never win.
In a different way.
Yep.
No, I feel bad because we had a couple games this last couple weeks where everyone's blaming Spider-Man, and then the end of the map or end of the game happens after we lose, and he has almost 30 kills. Like he's actually killing it, but we just blamed him the whole game.
Yeah, because it's his fault. Even if he's doing well, it's his fault.
No.
I don't care.
No.
Yeah. There's so much time in between those ults. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Speaking of a frustrating time, welcome to episode 36 of the Giant Enemy Crab podcast. We're here. I did it. I'm your host, Fliz. I have to be here. They told me, or else I get fined.
It's true.
I'm joined by the lovely Tsun and the lovely KylarEmiya. Jacob's sick. He's feeling all icky and gross on the inside. So he's gonna take a nap. But don't worry, if you are missing your Strider fix, you got a whole episode of that either before or after this comes out.
He loves Elden Ring.
He loves Elden Ring, so he gave us the whole lowdown on Night Rain. So go check that out.
You get an exclusive. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. It was he went into it like it's not just like I liked it. It's like every character's breakdown and all that stuff. So enjoy. That's for y'all. We got some news. Do one of y'all want to go first, or should I go first?
I guess I'll kind of talk about the Marvel Rivals patch, so we can all kind of talk together about that.
Let's start with that because we're all addicted. I don't think Marvel Rivals talk is going to go away anytime soon. That's going to be like the core of our updates that we keep up with gaming wise.
We're addicted to it at this point.
Yeah, it's just so good.
It'll go away for a bit once Monster Hunter comes out, but I don't think it's going anywhere.
I don't want it to go away completely though.
Yeah. But to clarify something real quick, because I was actually kind of shocked on how far this went, is the NetEase layoffs that happened with Marvel Rivals. I didn't realize how many people were talking about this and how people don't realize this is actually not a huge deal.
So yeah, I saw that yesterday and I dropped it in the group chat. Like right after we finished recording, I was like, oh no, with all the layoffs. I'll let you go into it, but like a lot of people flew off the handle with no information.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All over Twitter, man. They're calling to cancel that game and all this shit, and nobody's really actually seeing what happened.
Yeah, so from what we know, NetEase rather had laid off a US based development team in Seattle. They laid off the entire studio. So you're probably seeing headlines of them saying that, including the quote Marvel Rivals game director, Thaddeus Sasser, was also laid off. This is true, but it's true because this was a very small US based team. And I think it's the only overseas team they had in the United States. So that's why Thaddeus Sasser is the game director. He's the game director for the US based team. And this was a team that apparently only comprised of 6 people, according to Forbes.
I didn't even know it was that few. Damn.
Yeah, it was like 6 people.
A small team, man.
Yeah, which, it still sucks. That's still 6, people that lost their jobs. But it kind of puts into perspective that people don't realize that this is totally normal. Like this, they pretty much were hired to do a job. They were in charge apparently of like more research and development of level design features and everything. And that's what they did. They did it. The game is now live. They don't have to focus so much on all this hardcore development. They're going to go into maintenance mode now. So they cut staff. This is what every video game does. And especially since NetEase is based in China, that's where the development for this is. They're going to probably base it more on their home turf, which is why they're closing their only US studio. That's why that's happening.
We've talked about this before because we're constantly seeing these layoff headlines. And yes, of course, it's a bad thing when people lose their job. But when you see these posts on, I guess, a lot of journalism sites or Twitter or anything, you just get the headline and you get mad, right? Massive layoffs at whatever. But you don't take into account that like the game they were working on is finished. Or maybe that, half of those 600 people were testers for a game that's now published.
Yeah.
It's not always black and white. Every company sucks and they fired all these good people. While that is the case sometimes, it is definitely not the case all the time. I think wording here is really loosely used in a lot of the journalism that's been going on.
Well, get some the views,
definitely
man.
Clickbait.
Exactly. And so rather than saying that, hey, they, maybe finished their contract or they were released, or they just say layoffs of all these devs at this thing you love. And that's what gets clicks. So it's very important to read everything all the way through.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, like a lot of game devs have like some type of severance as well. I believe it was Ubisoft and Unity they took some huge costs because they had to lay off so many people. And a lot of that was due to severance because they have to pay people to just fire them due to their contracts that they have. So they get that. And also they were, level design and R&D for a extremely successful live service game. That's a huge resume. Like, I worked on Marvel Rivals, hire me. Like, come on, what are you doing?
That's free money for a long time.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. They are definitely going to be okay. Still sucks, that they have to go do it, but it's not something to be concerned about. So that's definitely something I wanted to clear up like right away. Because I was surprised, like the amount of people talking about it.
Yeah, it was all over my Twitter. It was all like the Twitter one is what really shocked me the most. Because when I shared it, we all kind of like read through that real quick. And we're like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as it looks from this headline, right?
Yeah.
To see that translated onto Twitter was like, damn, the information you must get from Twitter is so lopsided, I guess. Like you're never getting the full story from any tweet ever. You are getting what's going to get you the most comments, the most likes, the most shares and stuff. Like it's all about engagement. And it's, like I said before, super important to do research instead of just jumping at the gun for something like this. So yeah, it was everywhere.
Oh yeah. But beyond that, for Marvel Rivals, there's been some huge things. They just recently released their new development update video, which came out with a ton of stuff. The new patch that they're releasing. What are your guys' thoughts on the patch so far? Have you guys read it?
Yeah, it feels like they are listening to our private conversations. Like everything that I wanted, even the little shit like the season tokens being, possibly turned into something useful instead of just thrown away is like one of my biggest gripes right off the bat. And I'm like, nobody gives a shit about this except me. But there it was in the little leak notes of like somebody talked about this. I'm like, oh, they're on my phone. They're out here like TikTok stealing my data.
Dude, even you complain about how Loki like has to reload too often. They got that
when
too.
I noticed that, because I've been playing more Loki lately too, I'm like, oh, that's really. I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about that today when we were playing earlier.
Yeah,
It's like, well, I fired all this time and now I have to reload and I can't heal my team.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so noticeable, except all his other cooldowns are so long that it's like suddenly you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, it's just nice to know there. I looked at some of the nerfs and some of the buffs, and like I don't remember having a game where I thought they were spot on with so many things in a patch. I don't remember that happening forever.
Oh yeah. And this is like 2 for 2 at this point. I remember thinking the same thing for the first one too.
They're killing it. I love it.
Now, do you think Black Widow will be useful?
Oh,
or do you think she will remain?
Oh yeah. I think she's going to be useful.
This is funny.
What did they do to her?
So what they did is they changed her ult where it doesn't slow down as much anymore, right? But now if you're inside of it, like on the stuff that's on the ground, you take 15% more damage.
Yeah, it basically does the terror. What is it? Terror cape effect of Cloak and Dagger. It does that.
Yeah, it's just not as
Not
strong.
as strong,
but it makes it so it's stronger for the team. And now if you're squishy, Widow can one shot you if you're inside of her ult.
Yeah, they also upgraded her rifle's capacity is now 15 shots instead of 8.
Yep.
Does Cloak and Dagger have a debuff?
Yeah, Cloak's barrier he throws.
You know that wall that you throw out, the black one?
Yeah, that reduces
I
sight.
thought that was just vision.
No, what it does is it makes anyone that you hit take more damage.
I think right now, prior to the patch, it's 20%, and after the patch, it's going to be 28% extra.
Oh, no. Okay, so that's where all that burst damage is fucking coming from.
It's going to hurt now. Yeah, you need to block that now. It's going to be... I do like it because they're making her less of a heal bot like she kind of is now, where she's just an ult generator just trying to put down heals. And now she can actually like... you can play forward and actually try to like kill people.
Like everybody's going to play Cloak as a DPS anyway. I can just give them DPS powers. It's cool.
So yeah, there's that. There's also like you were talking, the chrono token change that they're doing, how the seasons were going to go before and how they kind of did if you played season 0 is once the new season came out, all of the currency that you used on the battle pass would just reset and you go into the next season. Now what they're doing is at the end of the season, as long as you've bought the battle pass, it just has to be the normal one. You don't have to buy like the super expensive one either. It'll convert those unused chrono tokens into the currency that you use to buy skins at a certain ratio that we don't know yet. But that's like insane. Like,
I hope it's retroactive because I had a shit ton of extra tokens and they all went in the trash.
I just remembered, I was the fool.
It was me. Because I bought that extra super pass thing and
when I'm trying to what was I think your words were I'm the target demographic.
I was the target audience for that extra pack that just takes your money.
Well, speaking of, now there's more reason to buy that now. Because if you play the game a lot, if you get 20% more tokens over the course of an entire season, that's like money now. Or it's going to be.
Yeah. Just buy half the battle pass when it comes out.
Pretty much.
Oh, can I also say, look at like reading the patch and stuff, all the support ults that are now going to take longer to build.
Yeah, no, that was something. The more it almost got me. I think the day before the patch notes came out, I may have said something along the lines of, if they don't do something about these support ults, it's gonna kill the game. Because I just kept hearing us against the world or the Invisible Woman. It's just nonstop, and it's like, as a DPS that sucks because you gotta wait to ult after that, right? But as a tank, you are left doing nothing. Like you're pillow fighting when they're just doing damage to you. So I'm super glad they're shortening those or lengthening them. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say the fact that they're making it. Did you notice with Cloak and Dagger Alt, one of the changes they're doing is it doesn't overlap now.
Yeah.
The healing effects.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the big one. It heals more, but that's because they can't overlap anymore.
Yeah, and it also doesn't last as long.
Yep.
The length is big. I don't know if they needed to. That's going to make her ult substantially weaker, like insanely weak.
Well, like I said, they made it so it heals more now.
Yeah, it does like,
but you just can't
second.
overlap it. Yeah, it's like 250 health a second or something.
It's like if you're a duelist in that, you're not gonna die.
But before you could get like 600. So no, it's a good change. Honestly, all the changes are really good. The Iron Fist is going to be insane.
I don't know how I feel about those yet. The maximum percentage damage.
I mean, you're not really on tank, so you'll be fine. It's like, it's us who are gonna feel the brunt.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know, man.
The important thing is this going to be different? Like it's just going to be like different when the new season drops, especially with the new characters, the Thing and Human Torch. Oh my god, they look so fun.
Oh my god,
yeah,
dude, I'm afraid of that alt team up. Like, we already had to deal with the Wrath of the Goddess enough, and now it's gonna be on fucking fire.
Yeah, and what's crazy too in that video they showed, that was into a ulting Luna.
I don't know, man. I can't complain about more characters. They're going to be strong when they come out. That's how they get the most data and the most people playing them. So,
I mean, Storm is getting like nerfs.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I honestly think that it's in a pretty good place right now at least Diamond. Like, the games don't just go, oh, they have a this, we lost. That's rarely how it goes.
Yeah. No, it's been really good.
Yeah. I've been, every time I fall out of it, I turn it back on and I'm like right back in it. I'm like, all right, I want to play again. Every time new notes or something, I'm jazzed.
I wonder if they'll still ban Hulk.
Who knows?
Because Iron Man got more damage buff.
Well, they
including
nerfed the
green beam.
No, they nerfed the green beam.
Did they? Because it says increased. Oh wait, no. Is this no? This okay. This is no armor overdrive. Okay.
Yeah, they nerfed it. Yeah.
I mean, maybe yes, maybe no, because the main thing, like, that's why you didn't ban Iron Man, is because Hulk not only gave him the team up, but it gave Strange the team up as well. So it was better to ban Hulk entirely.
And now Strange is weaker too.
Yeah, they reduced his health, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to have a new tank. And he looks fun. He looks like Reinhardt Light, which I'm kind of really about.
Did you see kind of some of the minutia, I guess, that they put into his kit? It's kind of hidden.
Like what?
Who's?
His right click, the big punch that he does.
Mm-hmm.
It not only doesn't have a cooldown, like you can use it as often as you want. It gives him shields every time he uses it too.
Okay.
Right? And then his charge, when you end the charge, it leaves a field on the ground and enemies in it can't use mobility abilities. They can't run away from you. He's going to
be so strong.
He answers like a lot of the frustrations you had with Hulk of just like being tossed around all the time, or people just kind of run away from you and you have to like jump over, like jump to them all the time.
That's the worst thing about Hulk in this game is, like, I love the Hulk. This doesn't feel like the Hulk.
It doesn't.
You know?
The Thing feels more like the Hulk, to be honest.
Yeah, the Hulk feels like Beast or something, like, because you'll be punching a wall forever and that shit won't break, or like, I expect when he does a super jump to land and it does damage or something, or he just feels like Pillow Fight Man when things aren't going your way. And like, I don't know, especially like destruction to environmentals. The Hulk doesn't get caught up on fucking pieces of buildings, you know? That's just not what the character does. Out of all the things he does, that's not it.
Doesn't Thing, he can't be like knocked around either.
Yep.
He's like CC immune to a certain extent.
To some stuff. You can't push him, but like he can still be stunned, and like Jeff
That's why I said to a certain extent, yeah. Anything like this, like displacement won't work, but
yeah.
Yeah. So as mad as I am, like I'll just play both, you know? It's fine.
Yeah, it gives you another option now. If Hulk's banned or if the Thing's banned, you go to the Hulk.
I'll break out my other punch, man.
Or if you have like 4 tanks you can play now. You have Thor, Groot, Thing, and Hulk. Like you have so many.
I can play them all. Those are just ones that I actually enjoy playing.
That's what I mean.
The shield tanks are just not it.
Venom's
for
getting
me.
buffed again.
And his kit feels weird too. I don't know.
I like it, and the changes make it seem like he's going to be so much smoother too.
I was gonna say, yeah, because like he's one of the tanks I like to play when I want to be like more on the offense. The fact that they changed it so it doesn't knock people, like what, it's gonna be inward now.
Yeah, so when you dive in, like they'll be pulled towards you basically, so you can like hit more people with your right click.
Yeah, and your ults, his ult doesn't cost as much again after the buff.
Yeah,
you able to ult more.
But beyond like the patch notes, there's the new characters, there's a new map coming, as well as, according to IGN, apparently the Marvel Rivals developer says that if the Nintendo Switch 2 is able to support it, they're more than open for launching Marvel Rivals on Nintendo Switch.
Of course they are. That's so much money. Like, why would you? No, thank you. I don't want all that extra money. Come on. No.
They were already... they said that they didn't put it on the Switch 1 because like it could not run the game. Like,
no, I can't run the game.
Yeah.
Imagine all the Switch kids that want to play Spider-Man and they're just getting yelled at and wrecked.
Right. That's going to be insane. If they're able to launch on Switch 2, the game's going to go crazy.
Those poor kids. They're going to learn some new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Get the hell out of my game. Learn a lot of new words.
Beyond Marvel Rivals, there's also Valve has been doing some interesting stuff. I guess they released all of Team Fortress 2's like source code, including their server game code too. Yeah, they said that you can now just like do whatever you want with it, and you can publish your games on Steam that you make with this, but as long as it's free. Like you can publish as a Steam store page.
So it has to be free.
Yeah, they said it has to be free.
I just kind of wonder what that exactly means. Like, just gonna get like a bunch of TF2 style looking stuff, or?
Well, what's interesting about it is like there's been a ton of mods that existed for like years for Team Fortress. That they've had to make with just what they've had, and also that have been kind of like a legal like gray zone of what is allowed to what they're allowed to do basically, because at some point they're basically taking away from the game depending on what they make, but now like Valve's given the okay, like yeah, you can just straight up make your own games with this now, and here's like everything you need.
I'm happy to see this free use software going on.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm always a big fan of it, so that'll be cool. I wonder what we'll get. If anyone makes anything interesting, like someone just makes Marvel Rivals 2 with Team Fortress characters.
Oh, I'm sure funny. It'll happen. It'll be $5 on Steam.
It's going to be free. It's going to be free.
It has to be free.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, you can make shovelware all you want. It's just gotta just won't make you anything.
Yeah, just reuse all of our shit as long as it's free. We don't care. So that's pretty cool, by Valve, though.
You made it cost something, you're in trouble.
Here's something really interesting. This came out this morning. Microsoft has released a research blog about their new generative AI model called Muse. And what this is I guess it's the first world and human action model. They're calling it WHAM. Where basically what it is,
wham.
It's kind of interesting. What it does is you essentially feed it like gameplay, like you feed it gameplay videos, right? and the AI model will recreate the game based off of that those videos.
Does the game work?
That's a good question.
It does. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what's kind of insane about it is like you can feed it all this data, and what you can do is it'll create a model of like the 3D environments, the characters that you're doing, their abilities or whatever, whatever you have. And then you can go in and basically like inject gameplay controls, like controls that a player would do into it, and it'll change based off of what you feed it
okay.
and just simulate like what would happen.
Because I've read about this kind of stuff happening, AI creating games. I've seen it pop up here and there, like fully creating them from AI and like having very little human interaction or input otherwise. And they say like, oh, the games are they look fine on the surface, but you can't really play them very well. So
Yeah,
that was what I thought the big hurdle was right now.
Yeah, this kind of is like a different use case. I guess the idea, there's a couple of them that you could do, is you could take like gameplay of very old games, right? That aren't supported anymore. Basically have the AI watch like these gameplay videos, and it will recreate the game, and you could just port it to whatever you want. Like you could just play it on whatever. Because the AI will just handle everything because it knows what the game should be.
That seems like such an optimistic use of it.
It very much is. If you watch any like video of what this actually looks like, you're going to laugh your ass off and think like, why would anyone try to play this? But to be fair, people said that too about AI when they first started making art. So, who knows where this will go.
I mean, not only that, but like the idea that it would just be used for this like benevolent purpose. I feel like there's some evil hidden in there somewhere.
Oh, definitely. Which we'll kind of talk about. But the other thing that they're trying to use it for is they're trying to make it a tool for game developers where you can use this to basically prototype way faster by basically like modeling up a whatever, just have an instant gameplay of what that might look like.
And I don't that's a tough one because like I don't hate that idea on the surface because it's a lot of busy work to make that vision in your head become something real.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of people's jobs,
It is. Yeah. I personally think this is kind of a waste of time. I don't know how you would ever use this, even if you're like a game developer, right? The main problem with how this works is in order to use it, you need to inject, gameplay into it. But if you're making a game, you don't really have gameplay yet,
Yeah, but I mean, if you said, I want to make a Sekiro style game and just inject a bunch of Sekiro gameplay and then just reskin it, and make it so it doesn't feel, I mean, it just seems.
Then why would you need it? Because you have the game, right? It's done. Like you don't really need to do anything at that point. It feels like it might be limited based on like, how creative can it actually be? Like, I don't know. It just seems like a waste of time to actually try to use.
I mean, does it only replicate the exact game you did? You can't alter it or something?
You can. But you can only kind of inject stuff that it already understands. If you put something new in there, it doesn't really know what to do with it, is what I imagine, because it just uses what it sees.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to blend and learn, right? That's the whole point of AI, right? So I would assume that it would eventually have this huge database of games, and you can just type in a sentence and a game that is obviously grabbed from other games, but is an entirely new game would pop up eventually.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where we get into kind of the itty gritty, right? Because there was recently a AI lawsuit this year that kind of goes into this, where a company tried to create a AI that would like act as a reference for law. It was like a legal AI tool.
Okay. And so what? It just like search things up real fast and build its own arguments?
Sort of. The company that was making it was basically using a different a company that basically did this already, but kind of like manually. Like they had a program and like that was like their thing that they did is they focused on using like AI arguments and other kind of research. They tried to take all the different research that they had done and create an AI off of it that would just do their job, essentially. Yeah. And the company sued, saying you can't make an AI off of our content that competes with what we do. Like, you're not allowed to do that. That's insane. And they won. They won in court. And this happened like a couple days ago, right? So you apply that same winning case to Muse by Microsoft AI. Legally, you couldn't actually use other games you don't own to create new games. It has to be stuff that you already have, because you're creating competing products, right?
Then at that point, you might as well just make it if you're making stuff to feed it.
Oh shit. Is there like this is Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something in like the Microsoft what's the app called? The Game Pass? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Now you're seeing it.
It's so, my god! And all the games that just come to Game Pass now can be used for this thing legally through some loophole in the contract.
What has Microsoft been doing? They've been trying to get as many games as they can.
Oh, that's crazy!
Yeah.
Oh, I hope this is true, dog.
So now you're starting to see like what this could actually be. Like, I think Muse is a waste of time to like as a tool for like developers to try to use, because you can't really use it. But if Microsoft
it's a good excuse for what they're trying to do.
Yeah. If Microsoft uses this and blends all the different like games that they have under their umbrella, you have a fucking monster. Of game development. You could pump out so much shit off of this.
What if they just took it and were like, take all the games on Game Pass and mix them together and make something and see what kind of monstrosity comes out?
Pretty much, because it becomes just a blend of so many different like game ideas and mechanics and just like whatever you want that Microsoft owns. And you just
be Fortnite too.
Dude, it's going to be insane. Well, not
Fortnite.
And that's the important thing is it's not just Fortnite 2. It's like very fast Fortnite 2. And very cheap Fortnite 2.
Oh, geez.
It would do everything, essentially. Like, if they keep developing this tool to where it starts creating its own assets, because we already know that AI can do it. It's already doing that. It's already understanding game mechanics, right? We know AI is pretty okay at writing code. Like we're starting to see that, oh shit, AI is just straight up fucking making games now.
Yeah, like we talked about that one time, AI's mostly seen in management and advertising roles.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an AI company making AI games, and you can try and sue them, but they'll hit you with their AI lawyers. You ain't got shit.
Dude, yeah.
The singularity starts in video games.
Muse is very weird. I don't feel like you could actually use it for what they're saying that you could use it for. It just feels like a waste of time. I could totally see how Microsoft could use this. Because like what it's actually capable of, it looks like shit. It looks like dog shit if you actually look at videos. But if you look into the future of like, this is what we used to think AI art was too, look at where it's at now and apply that logic to this. This is fucking terrifying.
Oh man. I imagine if this pans out the way you're saying it does. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. Damn.
Eventually, this is just going to have huge legal ramifications of just like, how copyrightable is this? how much actual human input is being used here. That's like the only thing that's really going to end up stopping this, is pretty much just the law deciding how many people do we have to have their signatures on this project before it's considered and like not only AI use. Because I don't know, Muse is pretty fucking scary, man. It looks like a joke, but
Nah, wait 5-10 years when that lawsuit happens and they get beat by the AI lawyers, and then you're like, fuck, like.
Oh, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Definitely gonna keep an eye on Muse. But speaking of lawsuits, I do have another small update for Nintendo against Palworld. I thought this was kind of over, to be honest with you, but apparently Nintendo is saying it's not, because they are still pushing more patents into the US court system. And they've apparently had a couple granted now. That pretty much cover like capturing creatures, you deciding whether they fight or not, and also like trading items now, as of January, has been an approved patent. Trading items between players is now a patent by Nintendo.
Dude, fuck you, Nintendo. That's my official stance. Maybe not everybody else's, but fuck you, Nintendo. Like, this is gross. If that's literally what the patent is for, Nintendo loses all the brownie points.
There's like a lot more, it's very specific, but that's essentially what it is. And they're still trying to get more patented, but they've been getting rejected a lot. But according to GameVro, apparently what they're trying to do is they're trying to link these new patents to their older ones to get them more likely to be approved, to kind of show like, hey, we've had this idea like a long time ago. Like this is our idea. And they're I guess they're just trying to shut down Palworld, like the game. Like they're trying to get it closed.
Hey man, that checks out as to why they're like, we're going to be publishing games from now. we're not making Palworld anymore.
Yeah, but I think the scary thing too with this is if this kind of like shows up in court, we're going to have like huge legal battles between game companies. Like these are very vague patents. Like
that's
throwing
my
objects
problem.
to capture creatures is just something that Nintendo owns and you can't do now. Okay. That's like an entire genre of game, basically.
Yeah, well, and it's shitty too because it's the same. Do y'all remember? Was it Fine Bros on YouTube a lot like 10 years ago now or something? God, time flies. They tried to patent just React, like the idea, the concept of React content.
Yep.
Just saying, if you make a video that shows you reacting to something, that's us, and we can take you down for it and get your money, and that didn't go through, and the backlash they suffered destroyed them. Like, I don't think that maybe that channel does stuff now still, but it's not what it was.
I actually couldn't tell you if that's telling.
Well, it used to be like front page of YouTube type shit, and now it's gone. And it's because of this, in my opinion. I don't think anything else hurt them as much as this did. The difference is that, they were a large YouTuber, but they weren't Nintendo powerful. They weren't just going to make shit happen all the time. So seeing huge companies get away with these extremely vague ideas and saying this is just ours, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be messy. That's for sure. If that goes down,
it just hurts everyone else, man. It just kills ideas before they're made. I don't know. It's sad.
And just one thing I kind of forgot. If anyone was curious, the legal case I was referring to was Thomas Reuter's Enterprise versus Ross Intelligence. If you wanted to look at that, but that's something. I guess I'll keep an eye on it some more. I thought this was kind of done, and they were gonna hit Palworld with their $65,000 like fine and slap on the wrist, but no, they're still going for it. They're still trying to shut Palworld the hell down. And I guess it kind of shows like how scared they are of Palworld, because, which is valid because it's really successful.
I guess not rip off, but you know what I mean? No copycat was as big as Pal World, except maybe like I think Digimon was ripping off Pokemon pretty hard. I
Yeah,
guess it wasn't the
I
same.
think it's very like defined though, like away from Pokemon. Like I feel like I could definitely tell the difference between a Digimon and a Pokemon if I saw them, you know?
Yeah, you don't capture Digimon, you don't. Yeah, and Pal World was Pal World was blatant.
Yeah.
I mean, like as shitty as Nintendo is for like pushing it this far, Pal World started it. They started it with them whack ass Pokemon looking pal. Are they called pals in the game?
Yeah, they're called pals.
That you got to catch with the ball to do your slave factory labor, I guess. I don't know what goes on in that game.
But yeah, that's all the news I had.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. The one with what's it called? Muse? That's the one that I'm stuck on. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. That's interesting.
You can look at some of the videos they have. Like it looks terrible. Like you just look at that and you'll just laugh. I can guarantee it. It's just the potential of just understanding that the AI is understanding 3D environments and like replicating gameplay. And you'll also see in their example videos, they're able to go in, like splice into the AI that like frames that it's generating the video, and they're able to put in controller inputs, and the video will change to reflect the inputs. Like this is actually playable.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I must keep eyes on. Jeez. This is news that I just found interesting. It's not even really news.
What is it?
It's just a reaffirmament that Bobby Kotick is a shitbag.
Oh no.
Dude, you don't
What did he do?
you need reaffirmment? I mean, everybody knows.
Yeah, he was just I guess in a podcast. This is from Eurogamer, but he was doing on the Grit podcast an interview. And he said that basically all the shit that happened that hurt Blizzard, he called it fake lawsuits that were planned by a union to increase its membership.
Oh, I saw something on that, but I was like, I don't want to be annoyed. I didn't read it.
Man, it's just to like say these things and say that like all this shit was fake and it was just assassination of my company. And there were so many things that happened. Someone died.
Yeah. And even if that were true, I'm not saying whether it is or isn't, I still think that game devs and quality assurance testers need a union at this point. Like they are not just Activision Blizzard, like across the industry, they definitely do not have a good work environment.
Yeah, it's specifically that reason. Like it's not a culture that's very conducive to I don't know, mental wellness for starters.
Even financial wellness, really.
Financial, yeah. The pay that they get for the work that they have to do. Imagine working 6 days a week and not being able to afford a place within 40 minutes of where you work.
But hey, man, you're working at Blizzard.
Ooh, all the ladies love that. Can you pay for my beer?
Pay for my beer, please. I can't drink.
Like it's nothing new, and it's just, man, they investigated themselves for like it was just bad across the board, and that was the way they fixed it. Was we had concluded an internal investigation, and it said we're just cool guys, so don't worry about it. Like to still all these years later, I mean, I guess it would be bad press for him to ever say anything different, you know, considering this was his feelings about the thing the whole time. So yeah, he'd have to be changed. But that was just he's still like, and then part of it, he slammed Blizzard for like, I don't know, slam's a strong word, but he was going after Blizzard for like, y'all did a shitty World of Warcraft film and that affected us. And I don't know, man. I've just never seen one good thing about. Well, I've seen one good thing about
fingers,
Bobby Kotick.
huh?
Yeah, man. But when you're in charge, you can't point fingers anymore. I mean, I guess that's not how the world is anymore. It used to be when you're in charge, you take the responsibility of the blame. So, yeah, that's all that was. It's not even really news. I feel good to say I don't like Bobby Kotick.
Does anybody actually like him? Like,
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, but fuck him.
Like, he did do some, like, he had some extreme accomplishments, after reading into it.
He's a great businessman
itself.
Like, super successful. Yeah.
He's aside, the one big thing that I saw that really was like, ooh, was the overpricing of the Overwatch leagues. That was kind of on him. As far as I could tell.
Yeah.
And that definitely killed that whole scene.
But But when it comes to like his character, dude is shitty.
I mean, not everybody's going to be a totally bad person, but if you're the sum of your actions, then yeah, he's probably not somebody I want to spend time with. I don't know.
Which is anytime you look at anything he's actually ever said, it's pretty bad.
I mean, to like put it in perspective for like Kotick's resume, like when he became part of Activision, when he purchased like his stake in Activision was almost like gone. Like they were
done. They were done.
They were about to like close, and he turned them into what they are now, which is insane.
I'm not talking about his capabilities. I'm just talking about like as a person.
Oh yeah,
he's just not the greatest guy.
I mean, he just did business stuff, and to get ahead in business, you kind of got to be a shitbag.
Yeah, because I have to be devil's advocate. Unfortunately, I hate that you're making me do this. Is at the end of the day, he has a board of directors and everything. Like he has investors to please, and that's every company. Every CEO of like every large company is very similar to this. He is not like the guy. There's tons of people like him. That's just how it goes.
I'm just saying it doesn't really excuse the whole calling all those scandals fake news and stuff.
No. But yeah, there's a lot of reports of him being not so great.
Yeah.
And if even 10% of those are true, that's rough.
What did they catch him on? Didn't he like fake being like one of his I think the person in charge of HR at Activision Blizzard, he pretended to be them and sent out like a company-wide email about the allegations.
Yeah. He falsified internal memos.
Yeah. I remember that. That was pretty messed up.
For damage control purposes. Like everything he's done, I'm sure has been in the name of business. But
and other things too, like the fact that Activision, or excuse me, the Overwatch League was sponsored by Coca-Cola, I believe, and Kotick is on the board. I think he's a board of directors of the Coca-Cola company too.
So there is
little bit of conflict of interest there.
Is that necessarily allowed, or
who knows?
I mean,
apparently
it must be. It must be.
I guess if it happened, I guess it would have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about that level of business, but I'd have to assume that a lot of people's hands are in a lot of pockets. So there would be situations like that arise regularly and are okay in that area, Still sounds like a conflict of interest though. Anyway,
go ahead. I'll let you move on.
No, tell me more. I'll listen to you trash Bobby Kotick forever.
I was gonna say, you still quoted as saying that the goal he had in an Activision was to take all the fun out of making video games.
Yeah, and he did
such
it.
A weird thing. Like what?
Because his whole thing, and I remember reading about this in the book, is that before he was there, video games were like, this may be a hit, this may not be. right? So you were always gambling to some degree. And his idea was, I want to turn this into a thing that I can bet my money on, like an actual financially stable ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that's why that's the point of live service games now. World of Warcraft, fucking Call of Duty. The reason they are like the way they are, and they have hundreds of devs, even thousands, is so they can consistently push out within a certain time frame new content for people to buy. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think of Call of Duty as a live service game and they make a new one like every year still.
It's because they're the same game every time.
Yeah, it's just such a weird. Call of Duty is a weird one for that.
I mean, it's pretty plain to see too if you look at the actual development cost of some of the Call of Duties, where like every now and then they'll be like super low, and most of them will just be in marketing.
It's because they go in and they change the number, like with Madden.
Sometimes they don't even do that.
Yeah, sometimes they forget.
Oh. And what else you got, Buzz?
What else I got? Speaking of numbers, this isn't even news either. You already did good news. I got weird news.
More weird news.
No, it's just not.
What is it?
Another thing that was kind of interesting is Pokemon Go is about ready to sell for a $3.5 billion deal, right?
Damn. Wait, Nintendo's selling Pokemon Go?
This is because it's Niantic, the Pokemon company, right?
Niantic is being sold.
Niantic, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, they're a different company. They
yeah, it just says the Pokemon company, right? It's not really Nintendo.
No, yeah, Niantic is they basically make like augmented reality games. I remember I first heard about them because I actually played their first game, Ingress, on my phone.
Ingress.
Yeah, it's basically what Pokemon Go was, but Ingress was basically an RPG that you would play, but you'd actually have to like walk around to actually play the game. That's what it was.
It's interesting.
Yeah, you'd actually like battle other players and like take control of different territories like in real life. Like you'd go to the locations, and that's what the Pokestops are now.
Yeah, I think I downloaded that after Pokemon Go just to be like, because it advertises on the same App Store page, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is obviously an alpha for Pokemon Go. You know, it's like the same thing, just with a different skin.
I just like to imagine when you say fight other players, you're actually legitimately just fist fighting. I won this fight. This is mine.
Go fight this guy behind target right now.
Okay, so Niantic is being sold. I actually don't even. Does anyone own them, or they're private? Oh, they're a private company. Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure they're own thing.
Yeah, so just cashing out.
Yeah, the interesting part is that they are being they're within talks with Scopely. And do you guys remember Scopely?
It rings a bell.
Sound familiar, yeah.
Yeah, remember when we were talking a while back about like there being only a couple Saudi Arabian companies that kind of own everything in video games?
Oh, no way.
Yep. So it's going right back into their pockets again. A subsidiary, it's Scopely is owned by Savvy, which is part of Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. So this is more of everything just being owned by Saudi Arabia coming up again and again. I just thought it was funny because these names, Scopely, Savvy, they come up every so often, and the articles nobody seems to care about them. But and this is part of the group. These are part of the groups that are like trying to fund or not trying to, I guess they are funding the esports Olympics. When we were talking about that way back when.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that. Because they're going to be hosting Olympics. So. Was it this year that they're doing it?
I don't remember.
I believe it was supposed to be this year.
Okay. So they're going to buy Niantic. Well, I mean, that means that they own the development company, but they still don't own Pokemon Go, right?
That I'm not sure of. It might just be, I think this might just be to sell Niantic itself. Maybe not even the game, but just the company, you know? Because I don't think, unless this might be one of those deals where nothing really changes. They just get the money now. You know what I'm saying?
And pretty much they just put their flag on top of Niantic and say, this is mine now.
Yep. We paid you for this. Everything henceforth is mine.
Okay.
Yeah, so just another thing being absorbed into our Saudi Arabian gaming overlords, which is fun. That was a big one though.
What a
That's
weird.
a lot. 3.5 billion.
Well, what's wild too is because I'm pretty sure isn't Saudi Arabia like the government is the one doing it, right? It's not even like a company in Saudi Arabia. It's like the government is trying to do it.
That's what I said that a second ago. It's part of this Saudi Arabia investment fund. Like it is the ruling class of Saudi Arabia itself, you know, doing these things for the country.
That's wild to me that that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
China is very similar too, I believe. So I guess it's not like unheard of. It's just I've always known China to be like the one that does it. And like I can't imagine like Call of Duty brought to you by the United States of America.
Well, I mean, it's just a different country because, you know, we're a capitalist society. So
yeah, that's
we
what
just
I'm
have
saying.
businesses. They would just be whatever, like the monarchy or whatever's going on in China. I don't know. But like it would basically be the countries that have the most wealth.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's fun. Any of y'all played that anymore?
I never even started, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed out on a phenomenon. Like even I had to get on that.
What was it?
No.
Pokemon Go.
Oh no, yeah, I played it when it first came, when it was like fresh, popular, but no, not very long.
Yeah. I almost hit max level.
Oh my
ashamed to
God.
say. Then it took forever, and there was like it just wanted more money. I even had.
Oh no.
Okay. There was, I drove a lot for work.
Yeah.
And you could buy these little watches that would sync up to your phone, and it would every time you passed a Pokemon, the watch would buzz. You'd press the button, and the game would throw a Pokeball at it, and whether you caught it or didn't was entirely up to the game. But you could just drive around all day and keep hitting it every time it buzzed, and end up at home with like 40 more Pokemon without having to even look at your phone. It was crazy. Like I went kind of hard. Those were only $20, so that was fun. I enjoyed my time with it. I'll say that. There was some good times being at places we weren't supposed to be at like 4 a.m. looking for a Snorlax. I actually had one of those moments. I was walking my dog way down the block, and I went. There's a Snorlax at the school, and it's like 11 p.m. though, and it's an elementary school, and it's already closed off for construction. And I kind of just look around. I got my dog with me. I got my phone out, and I just start heading in that direction. Security guards, what the fuck are you doing over here? And I was like, It's a Snorlax. There's a Snorlax over there. And he said, shut up and get out of here. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. And I left. It just felt weird to be a grown ass man. But Pokemon, I'm trespassing because Pokemon.
I wonder what they're going to make. They haven't had like too much success, I don't think, with a lot of their different stuff.
Maybe not. I know every time I see Niantic on something, I'm like, ugh. Like I know it's not about gameplay when I see that.
Yeah, because I did play Monster Hunter Now, which they released.
Never touched that one.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like fun for a month.
I just kind of wondered how it would like how does it work, like a Monster Hunter game on mobile work? Like
it's pretty much you just swipe to like dodge and attack. Like that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like it because the greatsword kind of felt like shit. But I think like all their other stuff, they had a lot of things that they just end up not releasing. And I don't think anything ever did as well as Pokemon Go, like even close. Even Monster Hunter Now, I think it only made like $14 million. Oh no, it did that in its first week. So maybe Monster Hunter Now is doing really well.
I can't. I mean, that was a big phenomenon, like they
Pokemon Go?
they literally allowed like the parks to stay open till like 4 a.m. when they close normally at sundown. But like they were like, nah, everybody's playing Pokemon. Everybody wants me. There'd be like hundreds of people in the park at night.
Yeah, I wonder if like Niantic's value has been kind of overinflated by Pokemon Go.
It might have been.
Because I don't know what else you could really do with it. Everything else feels like kind of a gimmick,
Yeah, I mean, there's also imagine how much data they collected off of people.
I can't imagine it's not any more than they already get. To be honest with you,
that's true.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know. Who knows?
I think they'll sell it for $3.5 billion.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, if you're
willing
to buy
a whole bunch of money, they're getting while the getting's good.
All right.
Speaking of financials,
No.
I know last week we were talking about Alan Wake and how we couldn't figure out how it didn't sell.
Yeah.
And then we realized it was on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
I was just looking at this thing and this is from Games Industry. The PC game sales on Epic are going to hit 1.09 billion on Epic for the 2024 year. I'd say the firm reached a milestone of 295 million users on the PC store. And in comparison to that, Steam's revenue was 10 billion for 2024.
Wait, 10 billion for Steam, and how much for Epic?
1.09.
Oh, damn.
That is it's quite a difference.
That is.
And that's kind of crazy considering, Epic has Fortnite and Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail Destiny 2. But then it even mentions Alan Wake 2. And I'm like, oh, so y'all just got those 3 or 4 games.
Well, not even just that. Consider the fact that, at one point, they were literally paying developers to only release the game on the Epic Store and not release it on Steam. Yeah. Like they were hungry for sales. Like, please give us stuff to sell exclusively. And
and I mean, it worked with Fortnite. Like, that's a kill, and Genshin Impact, right? So
that's man. Huh.
So that is a 15% increase from last year, which is crazy.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. And spending on third-party titles for them declined by 18%. So this is kind of all due to I'm if I'm reading this correctly, this is kind of all due to like Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've never enjoyed having to use the Epic Store for any reason.
No, I agree.
It just doesn't hit right. Battle.net hits right. Steam hits right. Epic, Origin, they're not quite there. Even Microsoft, I know that doesn't hit right either.
Microsoft is definitely the worst.
Stores. Okay, it's not just me. I always find that one so it's not difficult to navigate, but I have to sit down and think about it whenever I'm looking for something specific.
Talking about the store or like the app?
Yes, either of them, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care for either of them. Because then I'm trying to, I got to make sure this game is in the Game Pass. I got to make sure it's not on Xbox. I got to, it's just not, it just doesn't hit the same. That's all. It's not the worst thing in the world, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty much all I got. Y'all got anything else? Anything else you just felt like talking about? We don't have Jacob's questions today.
I know. We should have asked him like a quick question. Like, hey, what do you have?
I almost messaged him like, give us one of your questions.
He skittered away to the bathroom real fast. We haven't seen him since.
Oh, poor guy. All right, well, then
Yeah.
maybe we'll just call this a quick one and move on with our lives until next week when we'll be here again with another episode.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, cool. So thank y'all for
Yay.
listening. We really appreciate it. Questions or comments, go ahead and leave those on the video or send us an email at giantenemycrabpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Blue Sky.
What is Blue Sky?
Blue Sky
It's like
is
Twitter too, Electric Boogaloo.
It's so
Oh, that. Okay, and I'm on. Okay.
Yeah, everybody who ran away from Twitter went to Blue Sky, right? And it's kind of unfortunate because Twitter has become, at least my algorithm from what I'm seeing, there are definitely huge parts of Twitter that are full of just horrible racist.
Oh, yeah, no. Every time I see
transphobia,
something
like,
from Twitter, it's awful.
it's just out in the open now, right? Like I go on Twitter and it takes me less than like 2 minutes to run into something racist as shit, and not just like that's kind of racist, like full on like, wow, you really just said that type shit.
I mean, look who owns it and how it's managed now. But
So because of that and what it's become, people develop Blue Sky, which literally just looks and acts like Twitter. It's Twitter, except it's a lot. The community there is, it's growing, but it's way more left leaning comparatively to
yeah, that's what I heard.
Twitter X, which, I mean, there's not like horrible racist shit all the time, but it is a lot of like virtue signaling echo chamber stuff where they're like, I don't know. I just don't want a place that's biased, you know? I want like an unbiased place to
Yeah.
hang out. Even Reddit's really left leaning for the
Unfortunately-
most part. Like,
Good luck with that.
I know. I guess centrist would be the term. Like, I just want facts. I don't want opinions. So, oh well. Anyway, I'm just over there now because basically, I couldn't wake up and check the Twitter and like look at Twitter itself. It was too hard. It's just too.
No, I forgot. I forgot
It's-
about Blue Sky.
It's
And then when
really depressing. Yeah. So
when you
that's
recommended
kind
me, it
of.
was
I think
like- it was like a mind blast. I was like, wait, I do know what that is.
it's literally just a place for people to get in contact with us if they so choose. We would love it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank y'all for listening, and we will catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.